Hello there. Welcome to episode 15. And good morning from Wolverhampton there. Miserable grey Wolverhampton. Welcome to all you, this is related, so pay attention. Got to do this every time now. You vinyl vanillas, you record rum and raisins. That's it. Anyway, enough of that daftness. Welcome to you all, old and new listeners, viewers, listeners alike. Welcome to episode 15 of Vinyl Reveals, where I reveal and review some indie vinyl records. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell. You can find me on Twitter and at Reveals Vinyl, the other way around, just to be awkward. But here we go. On there, you'll find me. Annoying enough. And episode 15. You notice I've gone to town now. They're meant to be like 6-string guitar fretboards. Probably not getting that. But there you go. Episode 15 is entitled Mickey's Disco. Now, I've always said that this was my brother has come up with this title. Thank you, Darren Evans. He's on Twitter, but he don't go on very often, so no point giving you his handle. Big him up. He seems to think that Mickey's Disco was my first ever record purchase. I've always said it was Blondie Atomic, which went 50p each. And I gave him my 50p and off he went into town, into Stourbridge, to Mark and Moody's in Stourbridge, and come back with Atomics. But the other day, last time I saw him, he seemed to insist that we purchased together Mickey's Disco or Disco Mickey or something like that. One of them. So fair enough. I mean, I was like 5 or something, 6. So, I think, you can forgive me there. But it could be quite good. I think it's on. Actually, I think I did have a quick look for it on Spotify. I'm pretty sure it's there. So I might give it a listen later on. But anyway, let's kind of get on with it. And that little slice of music there on the intro was, let me just find it, by a band called The Shop Window. So just a little shout out to those guys, The Shop Window, newish band. Sort of jangly indie guitar, quite like them. Very lot to like. I think that's a single called Sad Eyes, which is available now on Spotify. I think there might be a 7-inch of that on vinyl next year. Got that impression. And an album out in the spring of next year. So look out for those guys. The Shop Window, pretty good stuff. At The Shop Window 1 on Twitter. The album is slated to be called State of Being Human, which is, it's where we are, isn't it? So anyway, let's get on with that. Shout out to those guys. So episode 15 run away. Got me trusty scissors. Now I've had this vinyl for a couple of weeks now. I did have to slightly check what it was, so I've kind of broke into it already, but that was it. Didn't go any further than that. So I don't particularly need the scissors to get into this one at the moment. So here we go. Today's episode 15 Vinyl Reveals is, try and get it the right way on. Is this Emperor of Ice Cream with No Sound Ever Dies. There you go. Chuck that over there out the way, and we'll get the cling film wrap off it, and we'll start getting into it and tell you a little bit about these guys. Get me a little notepad right way around first. Might help, won't it, really? These guys are from Cork in Ireland, Southern Ireland, near the tip of Southern Ireland. I kind of made a mistake on Twitter. I know somebody from Cork. He won't be watching, but hello, Adrian Connolly. And on Twitter, I foolishly sort of said, "Oh, do you know these guys?" Thinking Cork was probably the size of Royston Vasey, but it isn't. It's like 210,000 people live there, so assuming everybody knows each other in Cork is a bit of a faux pas on my but there you go. You never know. He'd have been about the right age, so I thought, well, he could have gone to school with the guys, or you'd heard of them. But no, he's into 70s music apparently, glam rock and stuff like that, which fair enough. It's all good stuff. Right, we've got that off. Enough about that. So they're from Cork, these guys, and here is the album cover. Now, I'll talk you through the band as we go along. Might as well get on with the cover straight away. And I forgot my bloody glasses, didn't I? Hold on, you're gonna have to bear with me. Back. Do not adjust your sets. Don't go away. Yeah, Emperor of Ice Cream. So here we've got this cover, like a purple, pinky purple to dark pinky purple fade across the text, which is quite nice. No Sound Ever Dies There in like a typewriter style font. This is just cool. And then we've got this, can only assume is like a radio receiver tower maybe. From below, looking up, like that. Kind of quite iconic, that. And then we've got these black and white, if it's actual, trying to figure out if it's taken from a photo or being drawn, or a little bit of both. It actually look like, could be a bit of a photo monoed out. It'd be interesting to find out from the guys. And yeah, we've got these circular motions around the outside, these radio signals, music signals going out across the across Ireland and into the UK and the world. And then we've got this little bird up there, purple again, just to kind of, you know, make old folk like me know what you're looking at. Yeah, we're looking up at something. There's a bird in the sky. Sorted. Anyway, so let's get on to about like that. It's nice, very different. That's good. Well done, guys. And then onto the back, we've got a little bit of that highlighted top left, which is cool. And then we've got a nice run through there of the tracks. So I'll just run through those, nice and simply laid out in the typewriter font again, in bold. And side one, we've got William, followed by It's All Right to Show Yourself, followed by Everyone Looks Fine, followed by Know Me, followed by Lambent Eyes. Side two is High Rise, Low Rise, followed by Sunflower, followed by Again, Stranded, and then the final one is Grow As You Are. And then we've got a nice little bit of information there, straightforward information, which is cool. Emperor of Ice Cream, name of the band. Funnily enough, there seemed to be another band called Emperor of Ice Creams. So we'll see somewhere along the line. Don't know if this band had tell you a bit about this band later on, but I don't know if this band, the other band, have differentiated themselves with just one S, adding an S, which is pretty cool. But I nearly went looking at the wrong band for a bit. I thought, well, they haven't released this many bloody songs and albums, so yeah, I'll soon get on the right track. Do not worry. I'm not going to be talking about a different band for half of this, but yeah, you never know. Vocals by John Haggis. Now, I noticed that I think his real name is John Hegarty, so I don't know where Haggis. Well, I've got Haggis in brackets down there. Anyway, John Haggis, vocals. Guitar, Graham Finn. On bass, we've got Edward Butt. And on drums, we've got Colm Young. Management is by Eddie Keeley. All songs by Emperor of Ice Cream. Lyrics by John Haggis, the vocalist. We've got just some mixing there by different people. Guitarists did some of the tracks. Some of them by another guy called Rupert McCarthy Murrah. Yeah, and some more help there on mixed by Will Dick Reed and produced by Fast Eddie Clark. What's fast about him? Perhaps he produces this pretty good, let me know. Additional production on all tracks by Graham Finn, again the guitarist, mastered by Patrick Clem, Klem, at Clem Plastic Sound in North Carolina, USA, which is interesting. Recorded between Cork, London, Amsterdam and New York City. And then the artwork for this is by Edward Butt, who is the bass player. So nice in-house stuff, all good. And photography by Graham Finn, which again, he's in the band. So it's a nice collaborative in-house effort all around, and they've done a really good job. Really good job. So yeah, we've got special thanks there to John Lynch, Dan Hegarty, and to our friends and families for their continued love and support. This is brought to you by FIFA Records. It's a nice little logo there. Not sure what if that stands for anything particular. We'll see. Licensed to FIFA Records, 2020, Emperor of Ice Cream, all rights reserved. There we go. Nice album cover. Nice information on the back. Straight to the point. We know what we're dealing with. On the side there, we've just got Emperor of Ice Cream, No Sound Ever Dies Again, just on the side. We've got that when it's in your rack, you can see what you're doing. And this album has been, I've got it off Bandcamp, I think, via Bandcamp. I think there's 300 copies of this initial pressing, I think, from memory. So we're into it. Let's just have a nose in there. Okay, that's cool. Put that there. Just a plain inner sleeve. Keeping the cost down. Like it. But yeah, this album's been a long time coming. This band originally. I'll just get this out first. Let's just have a look at it. Yeah, and I'll talk to you about that later. Okay, we've got white vinyl. That is side one. And again, we've got the cover artwork on there. Really nice. I like that. And when there's track listings running around the side, that's the only way you'd know which side it is. Okay, let's see if there's... The vinyl is... It's like slightly marbled. Slightly. Maybe a little bit, is it? Yeah. It's got a slight marbling effect to it. Very slight. Creamy. Reminds me of the top of a pint of Guinness, if anything. I wish I had a pint of Guinness that big. I don't think I'd get through the rest of the show. Good job I've done it early. And yeah, on to side two. Which unfortunately they don't line up. Nowhere near lined up, but never mind. Yeah, and the track listings run again around the side. Let's see if there's anything on the runoff. And even though it's broad daylight, I need the light on. What we got? Anything there? There's a FILP. Is it G11? Side A. There is something there. Looks like Loria Rehersha. See if it's on this side. I'll be able to read it better. That's something I've learned. You won't be able to read it on one side better than the other. It's quite difficult to read on white vinyl. Yeah, maybe the band will fill me in on that. Laurie Wersh or something like that. Yeah, anyway, that's on the runoff. Nice piece of vinyl. Nice bit of weight to that as well. So I'm going to let's put it on scales. I'm going to go for... I'm going to be completely wrong again, like normal. Let's go for 140. Let's go for 145. Oh, really? Wow. Completely wrong. I thought they had to weight it 180 grams. So that's your kind of heavyweight vinyl. So I'm quite impressed with that, guys. Not as though the weight of the vinyl particularly makes any difference to the quality of the playing of the record. But of course, makes it far less easier or susceptible to warping and things like that. You know, if it's on a lighter weight, 120, 130, something like this, more susceptible to, or lifting on the platter slightly, this kind of thing. So there's nothing wrong with heavyweight vinyl. Some minimal gains there. But I really like that. Good job. Looks good. Looks the part. So anyway, this this album has been a long time in coming, because the band originally formed in the early 90s, and I think Sony showed some interest in the guys, and they came over to London for a couple of years and recorded, put some EPs out, not through Sony, through their own, just on their own, probably a little bit of backing from Sony. And then they kind of broke up, and it didn't kind of happen. I don't know if they got dumped by Sony or something like that. Anyway, and it never came about. So, but during this lockdown, the guys kind of started talking, getting back together, and saying, and I think Graham still had the tapes of the recordings, and they got enough content, enough songs for an album. The album never got released back in 1994, 95 kind of time. So, yeah, they said they got the tapes, got them mixed, got it all sorted out, got a producer. I think they remixed, they re-recorded some bass. Maybe they might have done some other stuff, but I know it was pointed out that I think Eddie Butt had redone some bass on it, which is really cool. Some stuff they didn't like, so they redid it. I thought that's really cool. It's an interesting thing to do, to get back over this break and finally release it, get this music out there to actually good people. And they had a fairly decent following, I think, in Cork especially. People, their fans got back together as well, and they started talking, let's do this, get this record out, and they produced it, and fair play to them. They've produced a good album, really good. So that's a little bit about that. So the sound, I say the sound is a bit like, it's got that 90s, early 90s sound. Bit like Charlatans, a little bit of Ride in there, a little bit of Stone Roses-esque, a little bit the drumming on it, things like this. But having, sometimes Charlatans can be a bit sickly sweet for me, a little bit singing. Stone Roses, Ian Brown, can he sing? But this guy, Haggis, this is the Haggis you're going to like. Not the Scottish. I actually quite like Haggis. That's another matter. But yeah, this Haggis you're all going to like, because this guy can sing. This guy can properly sing, got a good range, got a good tone, can do different things with his voice, and I thought that's one of the things that really stood out and made this album stand out against kind of others back in the day. I mean, we're looking at it's got that dusty, brought off the shelf feel about it. It's got a summery album. The content is quite dark in a way, relationship based, breakups, this kind of thing. Generally, that's the impression I'm getting. But it's got a nice summery, kind of laid back feel about it. It feels like it's come from the night, that period. It does feel like that. It's not kind of been overproduced and tried to do too much with it. I think it's fairly raw, and as they did it back in the day, you just sat on the shelf for 25 years, and now we're getting it. But I think it's really cool, really good stuff. And summary. They've inspired, they're probably inspired by some of this early 90s sound, indie sound from in the UK, Manchester. But I think throughout it, they might well have inspired some other bands as well. So I'll go through that as I go through the record. So let's start with number 1, track 1. Oh, sorry, Emperor of Ice Cream. I'm just going to mention this. The name Emperor of Ice Cream is actually a poem, The Emperor of Ice Cream. Now, whether or not this is where the guys took it from, I always say, it might not be related at all, but it seemed like a decent shout. And it was a poem by a guy called Wallace Stevens in 1922. And I'll just read you actually some of the poems. Got really good actually. I think it's meant to be to do with a funeral, ice cream at a funeral, something. But yeah, call the roller of big cigars, the muscular one, and bid him whip in kitchen cups concupiscent curds. Let the wenches dawdle in such dress as they are used to wear, and let the boys bring flowers in last month's newspapers. Let be final of seam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. So yeah, really good poem actually. That's just the first part of it. There's another part I won't bore you with that. But yeah, check it out, really good. So the guy's got the name from there. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so the first track is William. Gets off to a decent enough start. It's got blown away by it at the beginning, particularly. You got on this, we got traditional indie guitar, guitar based indie rock, punk, pop. That's what we're getting. No particular synth on it, anything like this, or fairly straightforward stuff. But as I said, the guy, I'm going to just call him Haggis because I quite like just saying Haggis a lot. And so I'm just going to Haggis, let's call him. He's got a really likable voice, really good voice as well, and you quite comforting, and nice range, soft and easy on the ear, and you can kind of drift away in this album. It's got a very consistent, a fairly consistent sound to it. It takes a little bit of concentrated listening. This album, I would say, at first to get the most out of it. You might kind of have I heard that? You get to one track and you think, have I heard that track before earlier on? It's got a little bit of familiarity about it. Can't even say that. Yeah, about it throughout, but it is good. There's some good highs and lows, and some good light and dark in there. So it's a decent start. Number two, It's All Right to Show Yourself. They've got it in here. We've got a couple of sing-along songs, can be quite anthemic. It's All Right to Show Yourself. It's punchy. It's got a bit of a shoegaze feel to this one, but they're not shoegaze. They're not grunge rock, but there are elements of that in it, which is nice. It's got a wall of guitars in this, and there's a line in there. I hope I get to see your face just before I die. Then I'll know you come for me. See it in your eyes. And there's a really good ending to that. I won't say too much about that. Good ending, nice ending to the song I really liked. So some good lyrically, really good as well. Some good stuff going on in there lyrically. Number three, Everyone Looks Fine. We're building up to this. The album takes a little bit to get going, but once you're into the heart of it, it's really good album. Yeah, Everyone Looks Fine. It's got some really nice light and dark, and this is the first time we've got some real light and dark to sort of grab onto in the structure. And that 205, we get this dreamy interlude in there as well, which kind of comes out of nowhere a little bit, which is nice surprise. Generally, like an appealing sound, really. And it's got like this one has got like an abrupt ending, like a really abrupt ending, almost like they ran out of tape, which maybe they did. It just ends and you're like, there's no like, didn't go out slowly, it just like, okay, what's the next one? So maybe they could fill me in on that, the meaning behind that. Number four, Know Me. Really starting to warm up now. A good cohesive sound again. We've got a lyric in there. She don't know me the way that you know me. She don't know me at all. And that's a nice phrase that goes on throughout it. Very singable. It's simply structured. It's got a chiming, interjecting guitar. Likeable melodies and harmonies throughout it. Really good. Nice cozy song. There's a nice bass interjection in there as well. So and the playing throughout is really good. I thought the drumming throughout is really good, and the bass. Some quality musicianship going on throughout this. Number five is their first Lambent Eyes, which I think was one of the singles they brought out back in the day. I think I get a bit confused. I think back in the day, or they're going to bring it out again, wherever. Whatever. It's a great song. It gets your head bobbing. It's got this nice feel to it. Really nice drum work in this. A bit Manny-esque from Stone Roses. It was high in the mix of drumming is. Again, it's got a thin background of wailing guitars. Nice vocal range in this. Powering the song essentially. they got this kind of siren-esque fade out alarm kind of thing, sound going in it. Thing that, you know, if you wanted to be woke up by an alarm, this is a kind of alarm, you know, you'd like to be woken up by, you know, one of those soothing alarm type sounds. Really cool. Like it. Good song. Number 6, High Rise, Low Rise. Another good song, really good song. Again, got some lyrics in here, which I messaged the lads because I said I'm doing this review. I messaged the lads saying, is it this word or is it this word? So anyway, they didn't come back to me. They must be half asleep. But anyway, we'll go with it. Don't try to understand me. Realise that I am still happy. Ride it out just to, it's either appease me or please me. It's one of them. But yeah, I really like that. Some nice lyrics in there. Good stuff. Again, a chiming guitar that lets the lyrics be heard, so the lyrics are nicely in the mix. Another familiarity, very easy to like song. And this is the one where the ending reminds me of Christmas, a little kind of ditty ending, just got this sound about Christmas and some bells, and I don't know, just reminds me of Christmas. Really nice, really comfortable, really easy song to like. Number 7, Sunflower, another great song. There's a lovely soft bass line throughout the whole of this. And his voice, again, Haggis's voice is like almost like an instrument in itself. He can use it high, low, interjecting, overlaid, things like this. He's got a really good voice, and I think that's what, as I said before, makes him stand out. This one's a little bit, I heard this song before on the album, I don't know, for some reason, yeah, it's got that kind of familiarity of sound to it, which is cool. Number 8, again and again, this kind of turns it up a notch. Getting a bit serious now, you know, get a bit more grungy. We've got a shoegazy intro to it, and then we've got rockier shades. Almost reminds you of Queens of the Stone Age a bit, who didn't form till '96. So if Queens of the Stone Age were listening to you guys, to Emperor's Ice Cream, maybe, but it reminded me of that. There's a nice chorus in there. I know that you can see everyone's down on you and me. There and again, I think it says. It's got a rocking out outro as well. Really cool, good stuff. And nice. It's got a bit darker here, so there is ebb and flow in it. It's good. Number 9, again, we've got turning to 11 a little bit on this. Number 9 is Stranded, one of the best songs on the album, if not the best song. Jangly, it's got a powerful lyrical output. Shades of grunge rock in this, I've put. Puts a big smile on your face, this one. And there's a line in there, I'm not afraid of you, take your hand, lift it through my fingers, open out, let it all flow inwards, which I really like that. Good stuff. And then we're on to number 10, and it's gone by in a whirlwind. I mean, sometimes I've played this album 6-7 times now, easy, and like some of the second time I play, I was like, is that it? Is it finished already? It like flew by. It is one of those that just kind of flies by, but concentrated listening, really good. Number 10, Grow As You Are, another good song to end. At 119, I thought it went a bit JJ72, a band from the early, I think, 2000-ish. It's reminding me of them, so maybe JJ72 again. This is what I'm saying. This band may well have, inspired some other bands along the way, which is really cool. Nice that it reminded me throughout it of several different groups, but they definitely got their own sound, especially with John Haggis doing the singing. On the last one, Swooning, he's got an attacking guitar in an instance. It just comes at you out of nowhere, but you get your head nodding, your foot tapping, proper indie tune. Some nice vocals straining over the top, and a cool guitar riffage to close out. A kind of rocky guitar riffage to close out. So I don't know if riffage is a song. It sounds a bit. Anyway, so I think that's it. I've covered it, but I really enjoyed the album. I think I heard about it first off some guy on somebody posted on Twitter, and then somebody posted, "Oh, this is one of my albums of the year, or the album of the year, or something." I've never heard of them. I'll give them a listen. I like that. It's like takes you back. It takes you back in time. It's comfortable. It's summery. It's got some dark lyrics in there, but there's a lot to enjoy. Some good musicianship, and the singer is not to be underestimated. The singer in this is good. So yeah, weighed it, reviewed it. I think there we go. Emperor of Ice Cream. The guys from Cork and eventually brought out a really great album here. One of my favourites this year. Give it a listen. Pop it on. I'm going to put some Cork-based puns in this, like yeah, pop it on, that kind of thing. There, go for it. And I'll just sign off with I'll put it on and play a little bit. I'll just sign off before the end of the year. Obviously, I've got a couple, I've got about 2 or 3. I think the next one is an EP, so I don't necessarily have to review LPs or albums. It can be an EP, and I think I've got a single coming, so I might even do a quick little single interject, make a bit more interesting. And some of these younger bands out there, some up and coming bands, things like that. And then before the end of the year, I'll do a review of a quick run through 1 to 10 of the albums I've reviewed, and some I didn't, that I've purchased, all from 2020. Obviously, some of the albums I reviewed were prior to that, so they won't be involved. It'll just be 2020 albums, top 10, all that I've got in my possession in vinyl. Do a rundown. Why not? Christmas. So anyway, let's put this on without further ado. This is Emperor of Ice Cream with No Sound Ever Dies, from originally back about 95, but now brought to you in 2000, and they've done a great job. So I'll pop side 2 on, we go for high rise, low rise, and I'll see you again soon for another Vinyl Reveals. Take care. Cheers. Thank you.